So I think we can start. And as you are recording, maybe you can share the recording with we join a bit later. So in order to save time for the part already there, so I would like to introduce myself as I'm the president of Zone 5. I'm the initiator of this course. So since our elections, when I came in Zone 5, I found that there is a problem for collaboration. People did know very well what to do. What is the division of the zone? What is the division of the national federation? How they can collaborate to get. Are you listening? Do you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Yeah. So I found that there is a problem of disconnection between national federation, between zone and CAVB and FIVB. So in order to work very well and to be successful in what we are doing, it is better that we start by understand our missions respectively. What is the mission of the zone, the national federation? What the mission of the zone? What is the mission of African institution or FIVB? So I have initiated this one with a member of the committee so that we can get like a good start, so that from there we can see how we can improve our collaboration and the success of our respective federations. So thank you very much for attending this, and it's very important. We are with Mr. Tharcisse Harerimana. It's a Olympism and sports management expert for a long time. So I think he is the right person so that we can put us on the ground and tell us what we can do, how we can do that, and where we can come from, where we can go in our missions of the federation, and so on.
Okay, I think that we have a problem. So sound problem. President.
Sorry, my computer is off, so I forgot to plug in. So I am using another one. So I was saying that it is an important course, which I think it will be very useful. It will be very useful for us so that we can start on good base and be successful in what we are doing in our national federation, in our zone, in our CAVB, and the other organization. So thank you very much. So I will relate the floor to Tharcisse, so he can explain us what we are going to do today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. First is a course for 3 days. So we'll get 2 hours every day, and we have chosen to do it after work so that there is no excuse, or people will tell us that they are on duties, so they can't follow it. So maybe I think it will be a benefit for everybody, and I think it will be good for us to start with this course. So Tharcisse can take the floor and explain what we are going to do in these 3 days and continue with your
Yeah, thank you, President.
expose. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Concerning my experience, I am an Olympic journalist, covered 6 Olympic Games from Atlanta Games to Rio Games. So this is, and I try to I can ask it to Dr. to help me to present my PowerPoint presentation because I have some problem. Yeah, it is okay now. Now for today we have
Quel est le problème, Tharcisse?
yes.
Ah, c'est bon.
It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. The session 1, we have, I think, 4 topics. So the history of Olympic Games and the International Federation, your International Federation, Volleyball Federation. We can talk about Pierre de Coubertin and modern Olympic Games, the Olympic movement and the International Federation for the Volleyball, Olympic Charter, and your constitution, please. This is the program for today. And this is the stadium, the Olympic Olympia Stadium. And another photos is opening ceremonies, Beijing opening ceremonies, Olympic Games. But on this map, is the map of the ancient Greece in 776 BC. You can see Athens is there, but the cities of games are Delphi here, Isthmus, Nemea there, and the Olympia. This is the map of the ancient Greece in 776 BC. And the first photos, this is the Pythian Games were held at Delphi in honor of Apollo, the god of divination. And the second is the Nemea Games in honor of Zeus. Isthmus Games in honor of Poseidon, god of the sea. And the last, the big games, Olympia Games, held at Olympia in honor of Zeus, god of gods. Only in 776 BC in ancient Greece, the games were held in honor of the king of the gods, Zeus, but also to celebrate the power for the human body. And not that an Olympic truce guaranteed the organization of the games of Olympia, announced it before the games. Its mission was to ensure that whole city was not attacked. And the athletes and spectators could travel safely to the games and return to their country in peace. The games were stopped and 393 AD. Roman who invited Greece found the games contrary to Christianity. This is the history. When the game starts, we have 1 day almost. And 1 day we have extended to 3 days. And 5th century BC, the games were expanded again to cover 5 days. The ancient games including running, long jump, shot put, javelin, boxing, pancration, and the equestrian event. You can see the pictures. it take more than 100 years to revive the games. In 19th century, different European countries had sport competition. They were basing in the Olympic Games, but the first meeting. In 1896, the Greek Dimitrios Vikelas became the first president of the International Olympic Committee. That proposed also the Olympic Charter. This Vikelas, Dimitrios Vikelas. For Athens, it was a symbol of respect to the country which founded the games, because we can see this the ancient stadium. And the Greece government wanted Olympics to be held by countries permanently, but the committee didn't approve it. The host countries had to be different. The Olympics began in 1996. 2 weeks. It was the same the Olympics now. But in the first Olympics, the opening ceremonies were held in the rebuilding Panathinaikos Stadium. This is 240 athletes for some countries, from European and American. Panathinaikos Stadium on the Tharcisse, and during the opening ceremony of the games, and also a photo of the athletes. The problem is that this Olympic in Athens, only men could participate in the games. The same rules was in ancient Greece. Winners were awarded with silver medals, not gold one. The second class got a bronze medal, and for the third class, there was not reward at all. There was also the traditional leading of the Olympic fair. The modern symbol of the Olympic, the interlock rings were designed only in 1920, the Stockholm Games. And from 1896, the Olympics were held every 4 years. This is the photo of Baro Pietro Cuberti. And now, coaches for Pietro Cuberti. He said that the most important thing in the Olympic Games is not winning but take part. The essential thing in life is not conquering, but fighting well. As you know that in life, the important thing in life is not victory but combat. It is not have vanquish but to have fought well. Kuberta said that he thinks that Olympics seem to create a way of life based on the joy found in effort, educational values, and a good example, and respect for universal fundamental ethical principles. Olympics exacting and combining in balancing all the qualities of body, mind, and will. And he thought that in no way can sport consider a election object. Sport must be heritage of all men and of social classes. I don't know that now it is correct. Olympic Games are for the world and all nations must be admitted to them. The Games were created for the glorification of individual champions. Olympic Games were created for the exaltation and the art. In the Olympic Oath, I ask for only one thing, sport reality. What is his heritage? I think that the Olympic chart protocol for the opening and closing ceremony, the art of, and the Olympic rings on fire were his creations. From 1896 until 1925, he personally president of the IOC, and when he stepped down as president, the honor president of the Olympic Games was bestowed on him. And you know that Pierre Coubertin died in Geneva on September 1937. He was buried in Lausanne, Switzerland, in accordance with his last wishes. His heart is buried at Olympia, in Marseille, that was erected to commemorate his dedication of the Olympic idea. This is the symbol. You can see this at Olympia. We have now 96 presidents of the IOC. The first president, you know that it is Demetrios Vikelas from there. We have Coubertin, Harry Bartou from Belgium, Stephen Creston, Sweden, USA, Avery Branded, Lord Kilanin, Antonio Samaranch from Spain, Jack Rock, and now Thomas Bach from Germany. What about the history of the volleyball? This is the history for William Morgan. He invited volleyball in 1895 at the Holyoke, Massachusetts, when he was the director of physical education for the Young Men's Christian Association. Morgan originally calling his new game of volleyball midnight. Midnight, I think that is a symbol for three sports: tennis, basketball, and American football. Until 1916, rose attire which resembled those practiced today, volleyball today. You can see some pictures, photos. The first meeting in Paris. The first Congress of the International Volleyball, and the first Paul Libon was elected to become the first president of the organization. For Libot, we have now four presidents. Ruben Acosta from Mexico, Zimbabwe from China, and now Dr. Harigrach from Brazil. And now I have my magic box for the question. Before to start this presentation, my boxing magic told that the participants from Egypt and Rwanda can try to discuss about this question, how important is sport in society and what is its contribution to the social development of the country. Yeah. Participants from Egypt or Rwanda. Why importance is sport in society and what is its contribution to the social development of your country. Or Moses, your question. Poloto, I think. Why the sport is important in society and what is your contribution? It is your contribution to the social development of the country. Moses, you hear me?
Hello.
Yes.
This is Moses from Kenya.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Why the importance is sport in society and what is its contribution to the social development in Kenya, for example?
Okay. Sports is important in society in Kenya in the sense that we need a healthy society. Sports keeps men and women, boys and girls healthy, and I think these, in the sense, subsidizes the sense of expenses of health or medical. Number two, it allows the society or different communities to get together in the sense that players from one region who are involved in sports can travel to another region so that they can meet and know each other and exchange values and virtues of most of the societies. And in this sense, you also discover that sports helps social development because the development of society in the sense that when girls and boys, men and women get involved in sports, there are so many things that they run away from. They run away from crime. They run away from problems of immorality, pregnancy at the tender age of the children. And I think this is the biggest contribution of sports in as far as social development in our country is concerned. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Moses. And Eric Sabimana, what do you think about this question?
Okay, thank you very much. I think sport is very important in society because just it can contribute in integration of different classes, so their class or just group of people. It can also just motivate or just be a way of introducing reconciliation, like in the case of just there's two ethnic group or whatever, like Let me just give an example. In Rwanda, like what we had, like with the genocide, after that, people have been able to reconcile through sport. So that's when they are participating in the same team or just participating in the same tournament, they have like a kind of room just to see that they don't have any differences. They can just also contribute. They can contribute the same to the society, or they can just have the same platform where they can have they can contribute to the development of the country without just considering their differences. And I think also the sports plays a big role in just the mental health. As you know, if nowadays our society has a lot of stress, and people are just concentrated in looking for money, just working very hard, but sometimes they don't have time for leisure. So the sports also we can contribute in one of the way of just relaxing, just looking for the pleasure, just one of the way just of taking your family or your kids outside just to watch the game, to get that pleasure or that enjoyment of just watching sports. So without just forgetting that when you are just practicing sports, you know, you just you are just contributing in building the safety of all, and just being healthy. Because if you most of the time when you have our society or just our people just need to be healthier to be able to work or to contribute in other sectors of the life. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Okay. The next topic, the rituals of the modern Olympic Games. The Olympic Games began with the celebration and important ceremonies in which various rituals express the identity of the Games. And the rituals are part of the protocol of the Games. And for example, the art of the Olympic to the stadium, the Olympic art. The also by an athlete and official from the host country, and the entrance of the flag and the league. And handing over the Olympic flag to the next Olympic city, gathering of the athletes in the stadium, declaration of the closing of the game by the IOC president, and the extinguishing of the flag. So now we have a 20-hour celebration of the Games now, from Athens to Tokyo. And note that from Athens, Tokyo, we have in 1964, volleyball at the game, Tokyo Games. And the first Africa participation in the volleyball, Tunisian team in Munich, 1972. Beach volley at the Atlanta Games in 1996. For the men, we have Angola, Morocco, South Africa, Tunisia, and for women, teams of Egypt, Kenya, Mauritius, and South Africa. For Kenya, we have a women team volleyball at the Sydney 2000 Games, Sydney. This is the history of the Summer Olympic Games and the history of the beach volley and the volleyball. Next game, Paris 2024. Los Angeles 2028 and Melbourne 2032. About the Winter Olympic Games 33 celebration from Chamonix in France, 1924 to Pyeongchang. Next Games of Beijing, 2022, and 2026, Cortina Miller. What about the Youth Olympic Games? We have Singapore Games, China, Nanjing, Argentina, Buenos Aires. The next game, Dakar 2026. About Youth Winter Olympic Games, Innsbruck, Lillehammer, Lausanne, 2024, Yangon, Republic of Korea. We have other important games, for example, Paralympic Games, Continental Games, Africa Games, if you want. Commonwealth Games, Francophone Games, World Games. The World Games is not Olympics, the International Federation. And World University Games and Military World Games. The question. Ethiopia or Uganda, how your sport was established in your country and how it is evolved today. Or some, I think for Mauritian, someone, if you want to discuss about this the history of the sport in your country is very important. Hi, Sevan.
Yes. You're talking to me? Vous me parlez? Non, je vous entends pas.
The history in how your sport was established in your country and how it has evolved until today.
Oh, ok. Vous voulez que j'explique l'évolution du sport à Maurice?
À Maurice, yes.
Avant 1984, tous les sports confondus étaient concentrés sous une seule organisation qu'on appelait le Mauritius Sports Authority. Alors, c'est eux qui dirigeaient tous les sports à Maurice. OK? Avant 1984.
Yeah, OK.
Et c'est-à-dire que même les affiliations des sports comme le volleyball, qui est aussi longtemps que 50, que je crois qu'on a à peu près très longtemps, hein, vous êtes dans les années 50 ans. Ça te fait près de 55 ans qu'on est affilié avec la FIVB. Tout ça a été fait par la seule organisation qui rédigeait tous les sports à Maurice. Mais à partir de 84, et avec la promulgation de la loi 4 du sport, chaque sport a eu sa propre fédération.
Okay.
Et c'est là que chaque sport, chaque discipline sportive est dirigée indépendamment avec des lois bien indépendantes, suivant leur fédération internationale et avec le ministère comme le principal bailleur de fonds, ce qui veut dire qu'il finance les fédérations sportives.
Okay.
Voilà voilà l'évolution du sport à Maurice. Mais il y a une troisième étape qui s'est passée dans les années 2000, à partir de 99. C'est que, vous savez, à Maurice, nous sommes un pays d'immigrants, c'est-à-dire que nous ne sommes pas endémiques. Nous sommes des immigrants de Chine, de l'Inde, de l'Afrique, qui sont venus à Maurice et que nous avons beaucoup d'ethniques, mais nous vivons en paix. Et le sport était concentré avec des équipes à appartenance ethnique avant 99. Et en 99, on a évolué et on a dit non, ce sera par région. Alors, mais malheureusement, le niveau était bien mieux avant qu'après la régionalisation. Mais voilà en somme l'évolution de sport à Maurice après 84, 99. Merci.
Okay, thank you, K7. It is K7.
Welcome.
Is
K7.
KC
is okay. KC is okay.
Yeah. The history of in your country is the modern history. Modern history because and another from I found participants from Ethiopia or Uganda. It's important to know the history of this country. The history sport, the sport history of this country. Okay. Can continue. Moses? Yes.
Thank you.
Because this is important. This is from Uganda, I think.
No, I'm from Kenya.
No.
Kenya. It is very important to know the history of the sport in Kenya because we have two periods. First, the colonial period and the modern period now. It's very important. Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I have the colonial period, unless we have our Vice President, Mr. Charles Nyaberi, if you can talk about the colonial period. Mr. Charles, are you there?
Yeah, because it's very important to know exactly the relation with the Kenya, the relation of the sport from Kenya in the Commonwealth Games. Very important. It's part of the history of the sport.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everybody. That was a very good, very clear and very good presentation. Although we must apologize for the Kenyan participants that we came in a bit late. We had hitches in connecting, but now quite a number of us are here. Now, I'd like to say that the development of volleyball in Kenya, it owes its history to the
I think we have problem
to the people who with the Indians who came into the country to build the railway that runs from Mombasa to Uganda, and the sport was introduced in Kenya around 1898.
Mm-hmm.
That is about 125 ago. And it was the traditional 9-a-side Asian type, but then when it turned to the 6-a-side after independence, Kenya Volleyball Federation was formed and registered in 1964. Which was multiracial form of Asian volleyball moved on to where they are at the moment. And lucky that FIVB and CAVB have done a lot to help us move to where we are. Then we have the Kenyan women. The Kenyan women indoor volleyball team has just come in from Tokyo, where they were taking part for the third time. The first time was in 2000, and then 2004, and now this year 2020. So and then also
Yeah. Problem of, okay,
we had the good luck of having the beach volleyball. We won the Kenyan team that in England this time for the Commonwealth Games, there'll only be beach volleyball. There may not be indoor volleyball. But I think that also depends on how hard FIVB and CAVB campaign for it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for Kenya volleyball history. I think that is very important to understand and to know your history of sports. Next topic, which is about the Olympic movement. We have IOC and members of IOC, but the IOC is the pillar of the Olympic movement. It covers the 5 continents. It reaches to speak with the bringing together of the world's athlete at the Great Sport Festival, the Olympic Games. With the goal for the Olympic movement. The goal of the Olympic movement is to contribute to building a peaceful and better world by education youth through sport practices without discrimination of any kind and in the Olympic spirit, which requires mutual understanding with the spirit and friendship, solidarity, and fair play. The mission of the Olympic movement is to celebrate the Olympic Games, but it's also to put athletes at the heart of the Olympic movement, promote sport and the Olympic values in society with focus on young people. Very important. The Olympic movement, we have a vision, building a better world through sport, excellence, respect, friendship, but also working principles, because it's all about universal and solidarity, united diversity, autonomy, governance, and sustainability. This is the work principles, values, and vision of the Olympic movement. It is not the vision of the IOC, it is the vision of the Olympic movement. It's your vision. And the International Olympic Committee, including national Olympic committees, Association of the National Olympic Committee, Continental Association of NOCs, International Federation, Organizing Committee for the Olympic Games, partners, and holding broadcasting and or the organization. So we have many organizations. For example, Athlete Commission, Women Sport Commission. We have many commissions. Coordination Commission for the Olympic Games and the Evaluation Commission of candidate cities for organization of the Games. We have also the Congress of the IOC. The Congress is very important for IOC if you have problem, for example, pandemic now. You can have Congress special for the pandemic with the International Federation, coaches, athletes. About administration, we have many departments, 23 departments of IOC, and the Olympics, so that is one of these departments. The mission is to ask to propose the project for the NOCs and also the National Federation. Olympic traditions and symbol. Olympic rings, Olympic flag, Olympic motto, Olympic flame, Olympic anthem, and Olympic goals. Olympic rings are 5 Olympic rings that stand for the 5 original continents. The athletes from around the world. Colors of the rings are blue, yellow, black, green, and red. They will choose because at the last one of this color is found in the flag of every nation. The Olympic flag was first hosted over an Olympic stadium in 1920 during the Olympic Games in Belgium. At the Olympic Games, the flag is brought into the stadium during the opening ceremony. After the flag is hoisted up the flagpole, and it must fly in the stadium during the work of the game. When the flag is down of the closing ceremony, it signals the end of the game. What about the motto? It was at 40s, but now it is fastened, tight, strong together. Together is the proposition of the IOC president. Not 3 words, but 4 words. The most important thing is not to win, but to take part. And so 4 words encourage the athlete to give his or his best during competition. Very important. The tradition of the modern Olympic flag began in 1936 at the Berlin Games, and the Olympic flag is one of the best of futures of the game. From the moment the flag is lit to the moment it goes out, and every passage rituals is let down. And the lighting in the memory of the Olympic Games origin, the flag is lit in Olympia. This some off before the opening of the games, and the Olympic flag can only be lit by the sun rays. You can see the pictures. The torch is carried by rally from the Olympia to the host city of the games. But you know that in 2020 and 2021, the Olympic torch rate was constantly decreased due to the pandemic. Naomi arrival at the day, the stadium, the day of the opening of the game, the flamme enters the stadium. With the lighting of the cauldron by the last runner, the flame is transferred from the torch to the place where it will continue to burn for the entire length of the game. The flame is extinguished on the final days of the games at the closing ceremony. We have also music, the Olympic anthem. The words were added by the Greek poet Costin Palamas, adopted by the IOC in 1968. The Olympic admitted Spain at the opening and closing ceremony of all the Olympic Games and during all official international Olympic Committee ceremonies. Some words for the anthem. This is for the rituals of the Tokyo Olympic Games. And now we have a new proposition. We talk about not only spirit of fair play, but inclusion and equality. This is very important. And also, we do this for the honor of our teams in respect for the fundamental principle of Olympism and to make the world a better place for true sport. Olympic torches from the last 7 Olympic Games. Tokyo, Sydney, Athens, Beijing, Sydney. This is Athens, Sydney, and the Atlanta Games. Olympic medals from the last 7 Olympic Games also. Last one from Tokyo 2020. I think 2021, but with respect proposition of the IOC. Emblem and logo for the organizing committee of the Olympic Games. Tokyo emblem. Farmers president for other personality who have contributed to the development of your sport country. This is the question. Mohammed.
Hello?
Yes.
Mahiri from Somalia.
Somalia, yes, sir. We can talk about your yes. We can talk about the famous president or athlete or personality who have contributed to development sport in your country. Volleyball.
Yes, thank you very much. Some country good history about sports activity. So Somalia, they have a famous people, but not more. The country, the history of the sport is the country has a true various stage, and it's one of the most respected countries in Africa. But now Somalia Sports has clubs. But I wanted to tell you, and the foremost leaders, we have a volleyball player famous in Arab League, 1975. Also, we have athletic Abdi Bila Abdi.
Yes.
Has a win athletic, Olympic athletic, 1988 in Roma, 1,500 meters. Also, we have a famous players, boxer Ramla Ali, but volleyball Somalia has not famous players because the people of Somalia mostly are not awareness the volleyball. Somalia, the problem Somalia is the government and the Minister of Sport are very weak because this country 25 years continuous civil war. Are you hearing me?
Yes, okay.
So now I'm President Somali Volleyball. Also, I'm active, the person activity volleyball in the country. Somali people like sports. They have Olympic committee. We have president and Olympic committee. But the problem is issue economic, and the country is recovering, and the regions communication no good because some regions are continuous fighting. Some districts are controlling Islamic terrorist Al-Shabaab. So we like volleyball, but we don't have chance to do everything.
Yes, Mohammed. I have one question. How many clubs do you have in Mogadishu, the club of volleyball?
Now we have 4 teams, Serie A, and 4 teams schools volleyball. We play championship. We play beach volleyball cup. We play school tournament or competition. So the people, they need and they like volleyball, but the problem is the Minister of Sports are not understanding meaning of the volleyball. They like football.
Football, yes.
So because the Minister of Sports, when I meet, I discuss what the meaning of the volleyball. He said, I don't have any budget for volleyball. So that's our problem. I told you the problem FIVB. I told you the problem CAVB, former President Elwani. Also, I told you Zone 5 President former. So Somalia needs support from Zone 5, CAVB, and FIVB. The students, teachers like volleyball. The problem also is courts. The stadium courts is very short. It is collapsed. The fighting destroys all the fields or courts. So we have problem.
Okay. Thank you, Mohammed. And what about the situation in the school, the volleyball situation in the school? Do you have the relation with some schools in Mogadishu, for example?
Yes. Plan school is volleyball is very, they are playing. We give equipment such as a police, nets, ball carts. I requested the ambassador in the Mogadishu, such as Turkey embassy, Italian embassy. Also, I send a letter Arab countries. When I get equipment, I supplying, I'm distributing the schools. So the schools are ready to support it from Olympic and from Minister of Sport.
Okay.
Thank you. Are you understanding to me my talking, my discussion? Hello?
I think that you can propose some projects to the CAVB Zone 5 and also for your international federation, NOCs, IOC. It's very important because the situation is not good in your country.
I forget. I wanted to tell you something I forget.
Yes.
I request Olympic Solidarity or FIVB level 1 coach. So 2 times we got course level 1 coaches. George Abadu came here 2 times. But the problem, coaches needs money. They say we wanted to work. We don't have transportation. We don't have pocket money. So the country situation is not good. So I wanted to take, I wanted to fulfill your advice, and we make a proposal, and we request the FIVB, CAVB, and Zone 5 supporting for development.
Yes, sir. Okay, next topic. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you, my coach. Thank you.
Okay. What about the Olympic chart and the constitution of the Volleyball International Federation?
For the constitution.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a constitution, but Somali volleyball and Somali Olympic Committee, they have same constitution.
Yes,
Some is different, but our constitution directly like FIVB constitution. FIVB and Somali volleyball, not different.
Yeah, it is the next topic, Mohammed. The next topic. Yeah. In the Olympic Charter, we have the codification of the fundamental principle of the Olympics. And we have also some rules for the Olympic Games, National Olympic Committee, and also the International Federation, members of the IOC. Governs the organization, action, and operation of the Olympic movement and sets for the condition for the celebration of the Olympic Games.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is okay. You can see my presentation, Mohammed. Please. When we talk the Olympic Charter.
Yes, Olympic Charter or Somali Olympic
No,
or
it is okay, Mohammed. It's okay. We finish. You finish your presentation. Now I present you the Olympic Charter. The next topic. The next topic is the Olympic Charter and the constitution of the International Federation. And with the Olympic Charter, we have many documents. It is an instrument of the constitution and fundamental principles, statutes, and the three-man constitution of the Olympic movement, the International Olympic Committee, the International Federation, the National Olympic Committee, and the organizing committee for the Olympic Games. This is, if you have the Olympic chart, you can find all the points in this book.
Okay, thank you.
Olympism is philosophy of life, exacting and combining and balancing toward the quality of body, will and mind, blending sport with culture and education. And that Olympism it is basing on the joy of effort, the dedication values, and for a good example, social responsibility, respect for universal fundamental ethical principles, and also Olympism, the goal of Olympism is to place sport at the service of the humanity and to promote peace in society. Promote Mohammed. It is now we can see. You see the presentation. My presentation, PowerPoint, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Olympism is philosophy, and it is also a way to promote the peace in society. Peace and also it's very important to have the program of Olympic values in your federation. It covers the 5 continents. And the big events for the big events is the Olympic Games. But we have many Olympic Games now. Youth Olympic Games and Winter Olympic Games is very important. But the problem will tell that the practice of sport is a human right. And every individual must have the possibility of practicing sport without discrimination of any kind, and in the Olympic spirit, we requires mutual understanding with the spirit of friendship. And the problem with this Olympic chart, not that we talk about political neutrality. This is one of the problems in Africa. They have the rights and obligation of autonomy, but and also good governance, good relation with the government is very important. Election free. We have many rights and freedom that for in the Olympic chart shall be proposed many activities without discrimination of any kind, such as color, sex, sexual orientation, language, religion, political or other opinion, national origin. Mission and role of the IOC. It is to encourage for the promotion of ethic and good governance in sports. Very important. To encourage and support the organization, development, and coordination of sport and sport competition, but celebration of the Olympic Games. And we talk about cooperate with the competent public or private organization and authorities is very important. And to take action to strengthen the ignite of the Olympics movement, protect its independence, very important. Maintain and promote its political neutrality and to preserve the autonomy of sport. Talk about discrimination also. And now the IOC proposed some ways to help the athletes, because we have the athlete commission in the IOC, and IOC encourage and support elected representatives of athletes within the Olympic movement. IOC support the promotion of human and sport at all levels and in all sections. But it's very important to IOC protect clean athletes and the integrity of sport, and again doping, manipulation, corruption. And we talk now is a new proposition, political or commercial abuse of sports. And you know that is very big problem now. Development of sport for but indoor. Sustainability also. Mission of the IOC. Promote the positive legacy from the Olympic Games. We talk about the all cities, region, and countries. Culture and education. For the Olympic values, we have many activities of the International Olympic Academy and other institutions which dedicate themselves to Olympic education. Promote safe sports and the protection of athletes from all forms of sexual abuse. So it is very important. Mission and role of the International Federation. Take responsibility for the control and direction and the sport at the Olympic Games. We talk about volleyball and volleyball. For other international multi-sport competition on the partner of the IOC. Provide technical assistance in the practical implementation of the Olympic program. But we talk about also the medical and the health. Now with the pandemic. I think you have 11 commissions. It's very important. Legal commission, finance commission, marketing and communication commission, rules and games and risk commission, technical and coaching commission, medical commission, development commission, beach volley commission. Yeah, it's very important to have this 11 commission. In IOC, we have, I think, 29 commissions. Organization. Mission and role of the NOC. Promote the fundamental principles and values of the Olympics. Olympic education program in all levels of school. Sport and physical education. Creation of institutions dedicated to Olympism education, for example, National Olympic Academy, Museum. And now we have the program of culture for teacher and education. Yeah.
Thank you very much. For Rwanda, the sport is organized by the Ministry of Sport. To have any other public institution who is in charge of the organization of sports. So it is organized by the Ministry of Sports and under collaboration with National Olympic Committee and respective federations in different disciplines. So they are having a meeting together every year to make some kind of program integrated in different disciplines of sports. And as you know, here in Rwanda, we have a problem of the private sector who didn't, until now, they didn't take sports like a partner which can contribute to the development of the businesses. So in sport in Rwanda, the major supporter you have is the government. even for the federations, even for the activities, and even for paying salaries for some employees in the federation. It is supported by the government. So mainly, the organization is in the government. There are the different federations in different disciplines who are working together with the ministry in collaboration with the national committee to develop our sport. So as you know, Rwanda have put more effort in supporting sport, especially after the genocide of 1994, because as you know, the situation here in Rwanda was catastrophic. Everything have been destroyed, all this infrastructure have been destroyed. So the government took the decision to take the sport in his hand so that can develop them, because it was like an instrument to put people together again, because the genocides have put like a bridge between peoples. So sport have been used to put people again together. So that is why government may put more emphasis and put that kind of objective of putting people together so that they can reconcile each other, those who are the perpetrators of the genocide, those who have been the victims. They are putting together, they are playing volleyball, they are playing football, they are playing other sports. And with that approach, the reconciliation was very easy. So many times, the sport have been used like a reconciliation tool for Rwanda after the genocide. And after the genocide, we have some kind of 3 period of development of Rwanda. There was a period of emergency directly after the genocide. After the genocide, there was another. It have taken almost 7 years. After 7 years, it comes another period of construction. It have taken also another 7 years. And after that, now we are in a period of development. So even sports have taken that kind of orientation, which was even it was political, but even sport have been integrated in that dynamics. So now we are in development. That is why this time sport have the objective to be one of the sector of development in our country. It has been taken like half, like economic, like infrastructure, like other things, like tourism, something like that. Those sectors were contributing to the development of the country. Now, sport is among those sectors. That is why we are seeing our government put more emphasis on building infrastructures. So now we have one of the best arena in Africa. We have one of the best pitch of this. They call it this. I don't remember the name of the game. Cricket. We have one of the best pitch for cricket, for example. We have one of the best pitch of this sport played by Tiger Woods. What is it?
Yes. Golf.
Golf. We have a very good area for golf, for example, and many other sports will follow. And so now the government have decided to make everything possible so that our different sport will be on the top among African sport. Our national teams have to be on the top of African teams, something like that. So they are putting more money. Now we have a project. They call it Isonga, where we have many centers of excellence in different districts, in different schools, where government is putting money to develop talents in different schools, in different sports, so that we can get more athletes to be taken to international level, so that they can go to compete everywhere in the world. So that's what I can say, how our sport is built. So sports have been taken, like I said, as a sector in Rwanda. So it has to be taken as such, like we are taking health, like we are taking education, like we are taking other sector in the life of the country. That's how the sport in Rwanda is. Thank you.
Okay, but Ferdinand, you are now the chief of the Zone 5, the CAVB Zone 5, and we know that we have many problems in the zone globally. The level, the high performance is not good. We talk about the level for coaches, level for referees. What's your vision? What's your project for the next year? I think that you have a strategic plan now.
Yes. Yeah, I think maybe we'll talk about it.
We can talk only about Kenya and Egypt.
Yeah.
Yes, but we have 12 countries.
Yeah. So, yeah, as you said, we have many problems in Zone 5, but compared to other zones, so we are among the best, if I can say that. Okay. Even if we are still having a problem, but we are among the best. But because we have some countries who are very developed in this sport, but we have others countries who are very, very far, like said my friend Mohammed. For Somalia, for example, we have a big problem in Somalia where they are not practicing any sport because of insecurity or the political way, as Mohammed said, mentioned previously. So that is why, with the help of CAVB and FIVB, so with the new leadership of CAVB, so we have built on that kind of strategic plan, which is built on seven pillars. One of the 7 pillars, which is the most to be emphasized on, is about governance. The problem we have in Africa is about the governance. So we have athletes, we have potentials, even you have even resources to do that, but it is not well managed. We don't have some kind of good governance. That is why in the Zone 5, we are starting, for example, with this kind of course. If we have a problem of governance, it is better that we start by that to tackle that problem of governance. So if our leaders in national federation, they know very well where they are coming and where they are going and how to get there, it will be very easy to achieve all these goals. That's where we are starting. We are starting by creating the awareness. This course is about to create the awareness of our leadership in Zone 5, so that they can be conscious of what is going on in the federation, what they are supposed to do, what is the expectation, how is what CAVB expecting from us, what is FIVB expecting from us, what is International Olympic Committee is expecting from us to develop our sport. In other things, if we are finishing this problem of governance. It's a problem of infrastructure. So as you know, the countries are still playing outside. That is not the case anywhere else in the other continent. But Africa is still behind about infrastructure. So we can't develop any sport without infrastructure, without material, balls, for example. This time, to get a very good ball of volleyball, so you have to pay almost $100 to get a good ball. So who will afford this in Africa, as you know? So we need to make everything possible so that we can get someone who can make those balls here in our zone, for example. But I think it is possible. We have many people who have a lot of money. See, so we need to make some kind of mobilization. So our political, our economic operators in our respective country can see how they can make, for example, those sports instead of taking them, importing them from Japan, from Taiwan. Maybe we can import it from Nairobi, for example. Can import it from here in Tanzania, something like that. Maybe it would be not costly like it is now. That is number two. So another thing to the problem of those coaches, those referees, those medical people. So we have a big program of training of this kind of staff to develop our volleyball, starting from coaches, referees, medical people, because these have been put aside. So we can develop an athlete without following him medically. How is his health? How is his nutrition, for example? Sometimes we are asking people to do what they do not have. We didn't give them or instrument to be at the high level as an athlete. So we needed to develop all those kind of things so that we can see how we can develop our sport. So maybe if we get time, we'll get in deep in our strategic plan, but that is what I can say by now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ferdinand. But I know that in the zone we have many potential. We have many problems, because if you talk about sport events, for example, it is for you. It is very good for you, because we have Rwanda, we have Kenya Airways, we have Ethiopian Airways, and we have Egypt.
Yes.
Why not? You can have a good competition. Yeah, I think we have. If we talk about Cameroon, we have problem in Central Africa, but for travel, we have no problem. And
that's an opportunity, yes.
Yeah. What your reaction, Moses, from Kenya? You have a vision for strategic plan for Volleyball Federation?
Thank you so much, Inspector. And
for example, you have a women teams. Women teams.
Yeah, we have a women team.
Very good.
Yeah, we have a women team that is doing extremely well. And we also, I would like also to concur with the president of CAVB Zone 5, with the strength of the structures of the clubs, for example, where we have a deficit in the sense that we have coaches, that's good, but we don't have a specific segment coaches where we have strength and conditioning, where we have a physiotherapist, where we have the medical doctor. And I think that's the deficiency we have, that's the deficit we have. And if we work on that well, I think we shall have, we shall compete with other big countries. We've also talked about, you mentioned Kenya, mentioned Rwanda, mentioned Ethiopia, as far as the strength are concerned. I think this could be well done if we have competitions. We have had so many African Cup of Nations competitions, and we have these countries missing, failure to participate in these competitions. And I think this Cameroon is a very good example that has survived and made it its way into big volleyball nation by competing in most of the competitions, the age group competitions. If we have under 19, under 20, under 21, under 23 competitions, and you have teams there, that means it is simple, it's good for transition. You never have a problem of aging players exiting the game and other young players get to the game. In our country, we have very good cohesion between the government and the federation and the clubs. And I think constitutionally we have the Sports Act, which is guiding us throughout so that the clubs, the federation, and the government are in good cohesion. So those structures are well put, and there's no problem in that. We've also had some few problems of sponsorship, I think, just the same as Rwanda, where we have the corporate world not coming to sponsor the federation or the clubs. But I think with some good time, we shall have the same, and we shall have volleyball going very, very far away. We believe that our women's team will still do good, and also the men's team, I think, is on the way to perform very well in Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Moses. Paul Bitok.
Thank you very much. And first, I would like to thank the president of Zone 5 and CAVB for bringing this kind of training. It is very important to know how we are going to manage our future, and it must start from us. Mine is just a question which, or my observation to the president of Zone 5. As we prepare for our teams for African Club Championship coming next year, if possible, we can have our Zone 5 Club Championship so that we can prepare and also participate well or to compete with the other zones when it comes to the Club Championship next year. We hosted a few years ago when I was still in Rwanda, and we had so many teams which participated, though we didn't have another one. And I hope President is here to help us and to engage with other sponsors so that we can have this competition. Thank you so much, and all the best for everyone.
Thank you. I think we have also Charles Nyamberi.
Charles is muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Now it's good, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to thank the president of Zone 5 for the effort of making this particular Zoom course to take place. The content is very, very relevant. And above all, it has served to bring leaders of the Zone 5 countries together. I'd like to say that the future for the zone is very bright. We are the biggest, we are the largest zone in the whole of Africa. And we have in the past been able to make ourselves get felt. But now I think we need to move towards both increase in both quantity and quality of our play. And since now we have the zonal strategic plan, and in it we have several competitions, age group competitions, inter-club competitions within the zone, and then also Zone 5 Cup of Nations. This, we go back to what used to be there. We used to have East and Central African Volleyball Confederation those days, which was, whose role was taken over by the zone. I think we need to organize affordable cross-border competitions in our region. We need to also encourage more of these educational activities like the one we're having today. We could think also, I know the president has in mind a number of things, including, besides the sports administration, I want to also thank him for having come up with other things that you'll soon see, like the training of coaches, training of medics, training of administrators, and et cetera, et cetera. Things like sports medicine, it's now very, very important. Things like management and avoidance of injury at affordable rates. I think these are things that we should look at. But above all, my dream, and I know it's the president's dream, is to have a lot of age group competitions in our zone. Even if they are not qualifying for continental games, it would be very good to have them so that, you know, even for the lower ages especially, so that we can build up and catch up with everybody else. Above all, I think we need to have collective advocacy. We need to find ways of approaching both our governments and the corporate people to put up more indoor facilities. I agree completely with Fernand that no matter how much outdoor volleyball we play, that is not going to reflect in the quality of our sport. If anything, it will take our sport backwards. Then I'm also very happy that there is good collaboration in terms of exchange of players. I know we have quite a number of players from the other zone of places, and our players are also elsewhere. I think that kind of exchange is very good. So I want to thank you very much. And that was very good Olympic solidarity presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, last discussion for today, Coco Market, Inosa.
Yeah, thank you so much, the President, Zone 5, the CAVB, and all members in attendance. I have to appreciate that Zone 5 has come out. I think, I don't remember when we attended this kind of session, but I'm so happy that it has come out and it is towards development. Now, mine is still just to echo more on something that could have been said already, and this is on capacity building. Now, I'm looking at another point from the coach's angle. We have always had certain team being supported by FIVB, especially when being prepared or preparing for big events. An example I give, the Kenya women went for Olympics. They had some, I think, Brazilian coaches who came down to add on the expertise on the coaches who were on the ground already. Now, I will not talk at that level. I'm talking at our level now is Zone 5. We also have individuals. An example is Coach Paul Bitok, who spoke a few minutes ago. He's one of the most senior among the coaches we have around. And his expertise would help build on some of our coaches within the zone. So what am I trying to look at? I'm trying to look at opportunity of probably when we are having one of these championships, that just like they always organize the referee seminar, they could as well organize coaches seminar before championship. And some of these individuals with experience would come in and help our coaches to get to another level. The other bit would be exchange visits. I mean, if CAVB or Zone 5 can afford to maybe cater for some of these experts, they would rotate them among our countries for some period, maybe a week or 5 days, to conduct seminar and also have some more training with our coaches within the zone. So as you put in your plans for the zone, try to think also along that line. This will improve on our performances. We have natural talents actually within our zone, and they just need us to get to some level, and then the other zones will suffer in our hands. Otherwise, thank you so much, and I appreciate all that's going on.
Thank you, Co-Market. Tomorrow we will talk about managing an Olympic sport organization, performance, and we will talk to farmers, athletes, farmers players. Is a very important session for tomorrow. Thank you, and this is the my last presentation, and I think thank you for your respect. I'm very happy to contact the zone staff and some president of the National Federation, Volleyball Federation, and it's very important to know situation you have in your federation. But tomorrow it is very good session. A good session. It is an Olympic organization. We will talk the management of sport. The management for your organization is very important. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everybody. So see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Sorry for the delay. Sorry for those who are joining after some time. So it is because of problem when we were starting. The problem is, the technique is not very. Sometimes it can surprise people. So maybe tomorrow it will be an improvement. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, President.
So try to be there on time.
We will be.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong? Hello.
Somebody's already sleeping on the screen.
Someone is very tired.
Mr. President.
True. Somebody's tired from Somali.
Yes.
Good night, Somali.
Mohammed is
good
back.
night.
Good night, sir.
See you tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow.